Ladies and gentlemen, may I please ask you to take a seat? I think it's the first time that we are starting so early. Usually in the afternoon we've got much more traffic jam, so we start half an hour later. It was just 15 minutes later today. Monsieur le Ministre, malheureusement uniquement par vidéo, Madame la Bourgmestre, Madame Erna Eniko, Monsieur le Recteur Stéphane Palage, but especially dear graduates, dear supervisors and dear guests. Bienvenue, willkommen, welcome to the University of Luxembourg and welcome to the PhD graduation ceremony of our university's graduates. My name is Jens Streisel, I'm the Vice Rector for Research of this university and I have the pleasure to guide you today through this ceremony. Today we celebrate 153 PhD graduates, it's a quite impressive number, of the academic year 2021. So many of you are joining us here in person, and that is a particular pleasure, but due to the pandemic situation, many of you are also joining us via live stream. A heart welcome to all of you inside this room and outside this room. Today is a very special day for you graduates, of course, but also for your family, for your friends, also for our university, and in particular also for your supervisors. It is even more special considering the very challenging circumstances under which you have been finalizing your PhD manuscript and the whole PhD. It must have been very tough finishing the last studies, writing up the manuscripts under these very special circumstances. You've shown by this, I think, an absolutely remarkable resilience in face of the global pandemic. So today, as I said, is a special day. The university confers upon you the doctoral degree, which is the highest academic degree, and your PhD diploma certifies that you have achieved and truly learned much. Probably starting with the fact, as someone said, that learning, and very certainly PhD, is not a spectator sport. A doctorate is absolutely hard work. It is about acquiring knowledge through research every day, challenging yourself each day. It is about day-to-day really challenges, and it's about pushing the boundaries. But I think it is in particular about discovery. And you must have had these little moments of pleasure of being the first person to do a particular experiment, the first person of developing a new technology, perhaps the first person of discovering a new document in the library that no one has been really analyzing, and perhaps simply the first person of thinking about a complex problem and finding out the solution. So certainly a PhD has struggling moments, especially at these moments, but I would like you to remind these little moments of pleasure, of discovery, of which you can be proud, and this is why you will receive today the diploma as a doctorate. So my sincerest congratulations to all of you. You've succeeded, and in doing so, you make all of us proud, in particular, very certainly, also your family, and I'm particularly pleased to see that many parents and other family members and friends are also today here. So if we go a step further, knowledge is a prerequisite to help shape the world of tomorrow, which we know very challenging. None of the problems we're facing today or tomorrow is truly simple. Challenges like the deep digitalization of our society, like climate change, like health, like sustainable economic growth, or social inclusions, they are so intricate and they are often so complex that they require a very broad basis of scientific knowledge, like the basis you have acquired here. And we will hear later on from Rudi Balling a little bit more about complexity, and I think he will call this wicked problems. So as you embark on your careers, I would like to ask you to remain open, curious, and that you keep on learning. And I truly consider that a PhD is an excellent basis for this. And please also remember that a PhD is a symbol. PhD is a symbol to the society that it can rely on your judgment, on your scientific judgment and your expertise. And I would like to ask you really to use this for the benefit of society, but of course also for a really joyful professional life, which we wish all of you. So finally, a special merci vielmals goes to the many of you who came from other countries and other cultures to do your doctorate here at the University of Luxembourg, one of the other institutions, and simply to come to Luxembourg. This year, among the graduates, you're representing 50 nationalities, and if we would even take the overall population of currently 100 doctorates at the university, then we have 100 nationalities. So thank you for having placed your trust in this university, in this country, and I can only say it has been absolutely true privilege and pleasure to have all of you with us for a number of years. Thank you very much. So with this, I would like to go back to my role of maître de cérémonie, and I will quickly explain to you how this ceremony of about 2 hours will unfold. So we will hear first welcoming words from our rector, Professor Stefan Pallage. Then we have welcome words through a video message by the Minister of Higher Education and Research, Claude Maisch. Then we hear a keynote address from Rudy Balling, as I already said. Then we will have some music, and we will move on to the conferment of the Excellent Thesis Awards to our distinguished laureates, the Prix de Thèse de l'Université. This will be followed by the conferment of the Fondation Auguste Laval Prize. And finally, of course, we will move on with the conferment, this is why we're here today, of the doctoral degrees to all of you. And at the end of the ceremony, you will learn how to become an ambassador of our university and how you can join the alumni network. So we're excited to have all of you here for this ceremony and, of course, also for a glass of champagne later on. But for the moment, let's enjoy the ceremony. And I would like to call to the stage the rector of our university, the Professor Stefan Pallage. The floor is yours.
C'est absolument formidable de voir une salle remplie d'humains. Et c'est aussi formidable de ne pas vous voir en ligne dans un WebEx. Mesdames, Messieurs, Madame Erna Eniko-Chapches, ministre fondatrice de notre université, Madame la bourgmestre, Monsieur le directeur du LIST, chers doyens, directeurs des centres interdisciplinaires, Mesdames, Messieurs, bonjour. Très chers diplômés, c'est une journée de grande joie et elle vous appartient. C'est vous que nous sommes venus honorer. Cette cérémonie de remise des diplômes est un moment charnière de votre vie. Ce n'est pas la première cérémonie de remise des diplômes, vous en avez déjà eu au moins 2. Au Québec, d'où je viens, on parle de cérémonie de collation des grades. Parce qu'en termes académiques, nous vous décernons des grades. Le grade de bachelor, de master ou, dans ce cas-ci, celui de PhD. Les Américains appellent cette cérémonie le commencement, pour une très bonne raison. Ce n'est la fin de rien, c'est le début de tout. Your road to today's ceremony was not an easy one. It was in fact harder for you than for most of your predecessors. You have accomplished the final part of your studies during the worst pandemic the world has known in 100 years. Your success is thus remarkable, and it deserves the recognition of all. You have literally earned this degree, and we are very proud to confer it to you. Today, we celebrate your achievements as PhDs, as well as all the possible roads that open to you. They are as large and as numerous as you want them to be. You have the means to change inefficient behavior around you. Do it. You have the tools to design the future. Do it. Be a hero to your kids, to your friends, to your country. Another life begins after the PhD, and believe me, this life is worth living. In this life ahead, many of you will devote years to research. remember that your experience and your expertise will also be very important to the next generation of students. Teaching is in fact very rewarding, and it may be one of the most important missions you will have in life. View this as a superb opportunity to develop. One of my friends, who's also a Nobel laureate, Finn Kydland, says that teaching, in fact, is an amazing way to learn. Dear graduates, you enter a network of people that will be your most valuable team. Make sure you connect to those alumni who were sitting in this room last year and the year before. A network is worth nothing, of course, without connection, so be active in our alumni network. Make yourselves known to your peers and help our university build stronger ties with its alumni. Together, we represent an incredible force. I have the pleasure to be the rector of the University of Luxembourg. This university is very special. It is only 18 years old, yet it already ranks among the top 20 world universities younger than 50, according to Times Higher Education. It ranks fourth in the world among the millennial universities. Times Higher Education also ranks us third in the world for our international focus. Jens Kreisel mentioned that we have 100 nationalities in our PhD program. We have overall 130 nationalities on our campuses for students and for staffs. This university is also very special because it is your university. You may not have realized yet, but you are already tattooed with our blue and red colors. You will be today, and for the rest of your life, our most important ambassadors. I hope that you will always be proud of the University of Luxembourg, as the University of Luxembourg today is proud of you. Chers diplômés, c'est un honneur de m'adresser à vous. Je suis fier de ce que vous avez accompli sur le chemin de cette cérémonie. Vos doyens et vos directeurs partagent cette fierté, et vos proches également, qui ont aussi partagé chacune des très, très nombreuses émotions derrière ce diplôme. Je vous remercie d'avoir fait confiance à notre jeune et fougueuse université. Sur le chemin qui commence aujourd'hui, n'hésitez jamais à prendre le temps de rêver. Le monde manque cruellement de rêveurs. Le rêve est pour moi l'un des plus importants devoirs du citoyen. Bien sûr, il ne faut jamais s'arrêter aux rêves. Essayez de faire en sorte que les meilleurs rêves se réalisent. C'est la partie un peu plus difficile, mais c'est surtout la partie à laquelle vos études universitaires, les premières, les deuxièmes et enfin le PhD, vous ont préparé au mieux. Je vous souhaite le succès, je vous souhaite le bonheur, je vous souhaite de ne jamais, jamais vous ennuyer. Si cela devait arriver, voyez cela comme un symbole, comme un signe qu'il est peut-être temps de passer à un autre emploi. Die deutsche Sprache ist nicht die Sprache, die mir am leichtesten fällt. Aber es ist mir wichtig, Ihnen auch auf Deutsch zu sagen, wie stolz ich bin, Sie zu unseren Absolventen zählen zu dürfen. Merci au gouvernement du Luxembourg qui investit de façon aussi visionnaire dans l'enseignement supérieur et la recherche. C'est sans aucun doute, en temps normal, mais aussi en temps de crise, le meilleur investissement. C'est un investissement en vous, c'est un investissement en votre avenir, c'est un investissement en notre avenir collectif. C'est un investissement aussi dans la démocratie. Plus que jamais dans ce 21e siècle de toutes les remises en question, plus que jamais, les universités ont-elles un rôle important à jouer. À l'heure où la pensée critique se décline en 280 caractères, l'université assure un environnement de réflexion rigoureuse, indépendante, libre et dénuée de tout conflit d'intérêts. Elle offre un éclairage nuancé sur les grands enjeux de notre époque, établi avec rigueur ce qui est un fait et ce qui ne l'est pas, procure un avis expert sur les grands enjeux de la société. L'avis et l'expertise des chercheurs au Luxembourg a été déterminant au cours de la pandémie. Nous avons la chance de vivre dans un pays qui chérit ses valeurs et qui investit dans son université. Et je peux vous dire qu'il y a peu d'endroits dans le monde où, aujourd'hui, en pleine pandémie, la dotation publique n'est pas en décroissance. Au Luxembourg, au contraire, la dotation va croître au cours des prochaines années. Et cela, c'est absolument visionnaire. Thank you also to the wonderful teams led by Solange and Anya who organized this celebration. Dear graduate, I will conclude this speech, probably already too long, with the only appropriate word, bravo.
Merci, Monsieur le Recteur. Nous avons maintenant le plaisir d'écouter le ministre Maïch, ministre de l'Enseignement supérieur et de la Recherche, avec un message vidéo.
Dear CEOs, dear graduates, ladies and gentlemen, I am very honored to address you today at this year's PhD graduation ceremony. Let me start by congratulating all the doctoral graduates as well as their families and friends. Doctoral studies are not an easy undertaking. Creativity, critical and innovative thinking, organizational talent, drive and perseverance are just some of the qualities needed to successfully complete a doctoral thesis, not to mention the time required and sacrificed. But this year's doctoral graduates, just like the graduates of the previous year, at least in a large part of their studies, were also confronted with a worldwide pandemic and the corresponding restrictions. They therefore deserve additional respect. You, dear doctoral graduates, you deserve additional respect. You have shown that even in difficult times, against all odds, it is possible to cross borders and conduct innovative research. In this way, you contributed in an exemplary manner to the already excellent reputation of the University of Luxembourg in teaching and research. For this, my heartfelt thanks. Mesdames et messieurs, les sciences, la recherche et l'innovation, trois domaines dans lesquels évolue et excelle l'Université de Luxembourg, ont pour mission d'un côté d'éduquer et d'un autre côté d'attirer les talents dont une société de la connaissance a besoin tout en valorisant la diversité. Ces domaines doivent également contribuer à assurer un niveau de vie élevé, un environnement sûr et éco-responsable, un système éducatif innovant, de meilleurs soins de santé pour la population, une économie favorable à la nouveauté et à l'originalité, ainsi qu'une meilleure compréhension de la diversité de la société luxembourgeoise. Le gouvernement luxembourgeois continuera résolument à investir dans la recherche et l'innovation et à fixer des priorités fondamentales afin de tenir compte des défis sociétaux, politiques et économiques. En effet, l'écosystème de la recherche est le principal catalyseur nous permettant de faire face aux enjeux mondiaux actuels et futurs. Ainsi, le changement climatique et ses effets nécessitent de nouveaux modèles de production et de gestion de ressources, tandis que la numérisation implique des changements fondamentaux dans tous les domaines du fonctionnement économique et sociétal. Les données, dont nous gérons en quantité inimaginable grâce à notre mode de vie connecté, constituent une nouvelle ressource au potentiel encore inexploité qui soulève également des questions liées à la vie privée. Un troisième grand défi constitue les flux migratoires en cours qui conduisent à repenser le concept d'identité au sein d'une société qui se perçoit comme ouverte à la diversité et au changement au-delà des frontières culturelles. Vous, chers diplômés, chers docteurs, vous faites désormais partie intégrante de cet écosystème. En tant que ministre responsable de l'enseignement supérieur et de la recherche, j'en suis fier et heureux à la fois. I believe I can say, based on your student career here at the University of Luxembourg, a university that is a model not only because of the diversity and internationality of its students, but also because of the very high proportion of doctoral students, that you are very well prepared for the future. Whether you commit yourself to an academic career or whether you bring your knowledge to the private, industrial or to the public sector, I wish you all the best and rest assured, Luxembourg, we always welcome you with open arms.
Merci, Monsieur le Ministre. Il est plus derrière moi, ça m'aurait fait peur à cette taille-là. It is now my enormous pleasure to welcome Professor Rudi Balling to deliver our keynote speech. Professor Balling is today Senior Professor at the University of Bonn, but he's also the former Director of the LCSB of the University, the Luxembourg Center for Systems Biomedicine. Many of you will know that Rudi is a very emblematic person of our university, who has been in Luxembourg for many years, I think 12 or 13 years. And after an outstanding scientific career, he has been setting up out of nothing, literally only with an assistant, an internationally renowned research center. So Rudi, it's a real pleasure to have you here today again. Es freut uns wirklich alle, dass du wieder hier in Luxemburg bei uns bist und wir freuen uns auf deine Keynote Lecture. Rudi, dein Platz ist hier.
Yeah, dear graduates, this is certainly a day to congratulate, to celebrate, but maybe also to reflect. You are among the top educated people in your country. You have worked very hard to get your PhD. Society invested quite heavily in you. So with all these privileges, there also comes responsibility. And Jens already addressed it. There will be challenges in our society that are now coming up. The easy problems seem to be solved. Now the more complicated or complex or wicked ones, as I call it, will wait for you. Now, there was a time when I was at your age, and this is sort of at the time when I was in Bonn graduating. And below that is the first mathematical, maybe graphical model of Rudi that somebody in our department at the time draw, abstraction pure. But if you see this little leaf at the end of my hat, this already was my next stage at the time because I did a postdoc in Canada. So today I would like to introduce you a little bit into wicked problems. I hadn't heard that term a couple of years ago, but then I got quite excited about it. The translation into German might be verzwickt, verhext, certainly complicated. And this term was actually coined by Rector and Weber, who were in Berkeley at the time, and they were involved in urban planning. Now, whoever has participated in Gemeinderäten or even village planning or anything like that will have a feeling how complicated that can be. And urban planning, to really lay out a whole city for the next 10, 20 years, or even a country urban planning like the campus of Laval, will have an appreciation about the complexity. It's not only a technical problem. This is nothing that you can directly take out of textbooks and know how you put it into a Gantt chart and then just implement and do it. It's much more complicated. And I just would like to give you a feel for wicked problems because I think it helps to realize that there are problems that you can never solve. There is no solution. Maybe there is a direction that you can take, maybe even more complicated than to bring a herd of sheep, a flock of sheep, back home by a dog. You're hopeless if you focus on the individual sheep. You really have to do the whole balancing dance. And with wicked problems, this is exactly the case. So if you go through a couple of the characteristics, as I already indicated, there is no clear one definition even what a wicked problem is. You will see this in a minute. Every single problem that you address is unique. Of course, there are sometimes it feels modular, déjà vu, you have seen it before, but every single problem, a wicked problem, comes up with its own surprises, uncertainties. So there are no definite solutions. There isn't really a wrong or right. And it's a moving target. Things change over time. What seemed to be right yesterday might be not the case tomorrow. And we see this in looking at the pandemic right now. Suddenly we have Omicron, which some of the solutions that we thought we had in place don't hold anymore. So, and then everything you do to address the problem, to mitigate it, it just runs and diffuses through the entire system. And in that case, that can be the whole society or even the whole globe. And sometimes we just do not know what we should do. And I think it's important to realize this, that sometimes we don't know what to do. And when you hear easy solutions with one single advice, be very skeptic. Reality is much more complex and wicked. So at the end, I go into sometimes you can even call it the dilemma of multiple stakeholders. Each one has a different value and ideas. And then there's this big looming of the uncertainty that we need to deal with. So I think it's easy to find consensus that climate change and how to deal with this is one of the wicked problems. Don't have the time to really go into this, but this is now haunting us, and there are many ideas and many stakeholders how to deal with it. But overall, I don't think we have a solution at this point of time. There's also the idea that maybe the pandemic, COVID, SARS-CoV-2, is a wicked problem. And I think we see this unfolding by the day. And I don't even want to think about January. Now, when we sort of go through some, again, of the characteristics, why, for example, climate change and, for example, COVID, are wicked problems, I just listed 5. Weber and Riddle had 10 in their list. And I really urge you to go back to this original paper and take a look at it and sort of let it sink in. So, of course, we are living in networks. So these individual components and relations between networks across both the natural system as well as the social and economic systems, there are so many interactions, completely nonlinear, impossible to predict. Uncertainty. Not only what unfolds because of this nonlinearity of these interactions, but also because there's no really scientific, very clear understanding about the mechanisms. They are just so entangled. It's almost impossible to dissect them. So many of the solutions that we come up with a few years later, we say, oh my God, what did we do? This was not what we had intended. Plus, in many cases, you have these delays. You do something today, and in 10 years, you see the consequences. Way beyond 5-year election terms of politicians. And it's always a dilemma, how much should we invest now to save later? Is there a return of investment? In what time frame? And it's, again, one of these big uncertainties that we don't know really how to tackle. So, to just summarize that part, wicked problems are so hard because of the complexity, because of the uncertainty, and because multiple stakeholders really do have different opinions and values. And that's our diversity. That's a part of humanity, to be allowed to have different values and opinions. So let's go a little bit into the complexity. For example, if we think about climate change, it is not just the CO2 concentration or our carbon footprints. It affects by its consequences, if there's a tsunami or these typhoons or flooding, food security, the logistic chains, water security, and that in turn then has big consequences on our energy supply, on prices of different goods. We just realized this now by inflation going up quite a lot. But this is only one small part of the overall picture. At the end, you have the same kind of interactions, for example, in trade and corruption, and it's getting quite some time now, organized crime. So you have completely failed states. And so the usual laws and things don't work. But you also have big financial waves and interdependency, entanglements. And then you see these wheels, what kind of interactions we are really dealing with. So how can we just dare to think that we will be able to steer, mitigate, and control such complex systems? There is no solution. But of course, that doesn't mean we jump off the red bridge or say, so what? Then let's enjoy. As long as we are on the Titanic, we might as well go first class. We still, I think, do have the responsibility to try to do our best. I think it's also worth thinking again a little bit about the systems that we are dealing with. The LCSB is a center, an interdisciplinary center of systems biology, but I think the biology or systems biomedicine will soon go much broader. And today I'd like to really look at it from a somewhat broader perspective. And so you see how you can really put together these complicated individual pieces where each of them can take hundreds of lifetimes and educated people to try to steer it. I really recommend you to go at some of the literature of Dirk Helbing. He's in Switzerland. I think one of the really great thinkers in that area. You might want to invite him one day to come over here. I think it's worth it. So one of the big issues that we also, even in biology and how diseases develop, do not come to grips with in getting a handle on it mechanistically is feedback. So you perturb a system or you influence a system, but then it bounces back because there's a inbuilt feedback or many feedback loops to compensate, to adapt. Engineers, whole disciplines of systems control. So going from systems analysis to systems control is one of the big challenges. But if you see how many feedback loops you have, both at the smaller scale, running through multi-scales all the way up. So multi-scale modeling is one of the big challenges, and also to do, of course, the predictions. The next one, equally complicated, is because of the delays. And here it's just shown the CO2 emission, how it runs, and what we would do if we would stop it now, how many years, up to 2050, it will take to bring it back, even if we immediately push the 1%, 1.5% goal of reducing carbon emissions. There's a huge delay. So whatever we do today, it will manifest itself in decades. And again, we see this very clearly now in the pandemic. The incidences of today will manifest in ICU, in intensive care units in 2, 4, probably in January, February. So these delays, you have to anticipate them, but many times it's impossible to anticipate them. So again, the question, should we just throw up our hands? Or maybe there are technical solutions? Maybe the God of today, artificial intelligence, is helping us here, machine learning? Well, I think it can help a lot because it will be a data-driven system. We will get more and more data. But what we are missing is mechanisms. We need to understand mechanisms. And how do you want to understand mechanisms if you have that many feedbacks and delays and latent variables, parameters that you just don't see, that affect your system dramatically and can just reverse it in the sign? So you might think you do one thing, you do the opposite. So I think we need to sort of get somewhat modest here to see the complexity. One very interesting development that I wish I had a much deeper mathematical understanding, and I would be 25 again, and then I would do my PhD on causal inference. I think it's one of the most exciting developments. Judea Pearl in Los Angeles pioneered it. I know Anja Leist is working and using some of it. And Judea Pearl just wrote the Book of Why, again, which I recommend you to read. It's really the ladder of causal inference, counterfactuals. What would have happened if? And can we make predictions? And can we use, in this case, graphs, unidirectional graphs, without feedbacks to just model and simulate it to a small degree? I think this is where the next PhD thesis and projects will and should be tackled. So now those are technical solutions. I'm a techno-optimist in some way, but I'm really pessimist and much more skeptic when it comes down to the issues of how we deal with this as a society. And as a society, what we just now realize is the polarization. And I think this will haunt us even more than what we have seen in the US. It's haunting us now with the discussion about vaccination, pressure or not. It's another really wicked problem. How do we deal with this? Because you have so opposing views, and lots of our ideas that we had about 10, 15 years ago or longer in economics, for example, that we are a rational consumer, they all went down the drain. We are not rational. Stakeholders are not rational. So we have completely misjudged the rationality of us as a human species. Similar, I think we really need to understand the expectations. It's so easy to post expectations and make promises, and then you create expectations, and then things turn out different, and then you can't fulfill them. And even if it's not your fault, even if there are other solutions, you lost trust. Trust is the biggest capital that there is. And I think with conveying you a PhD, there's a lot of trust conveyed on you to really be fact-oriented and try to really come up to explanations that are built on facts and not on fantasy or wishful thinking, or have even a hidden political, economic, or other agendas. Furthermore, what is now also becoming quite clear is that in order to tackle this, in order to deal with these social differences in values and expectations, we really need to try to understand the psychology of motivation. Why do people something? What is the expectation in a society? And in the last years have been 2 Nobel Prizes, given one to Daniel Kahneman, the other one to Richard Thaler. And again, maybe some reading advice for you PhDs now that you don't have to slave in the lab or do some other work. It's really worth. At the end, I think I would like to make a pledge that whatever your PhD is in, look across the Tellerrand. Look beyond your immediate field. And I think one of the biggest jobs in that is for universities. And we need urgently, much deeper than we did so far, bridge the natural sciences and the humanities. There's this famous book from C.P. Snow, The Two Cultures. I think as a PhD student, you have to have read John Rawls. You have to think about what is fair in a society. If you make progress, how to distribute the gains of wealth. Does everybody participate in it? He developed a theory which I think makes you think and should make you think. I'd like to end here again with a pledge. And the pledge is that you do have a responsibility. You can be very proud of your achievement. And today is sort of the Augenblick, where you should realize how proud you can be and your family. But please also take with you that you have a responsibility as a member of the academic community and as a member of whichever country and in whichever society you find yourself. Thank you very much.
Lieber Rudi, vielen Dank. Wir haben einiges zum Nachdenken und wir lassen uns dabei helfen mit schöner Musik. very much. I'm glad that we see each other again in a couple of minutes. So our next item on the agenda brings us to the conferment of the Excellent Thesis Awards, which we have introduced last year. So before we ask the laureates on stage to receive their awards, we will see for each doctorate school a short video, and I will then also ask each head of doctorate school to come over also to the stage. We will start with the doctorate school in science and engineering. I would like to ask already Professor Siebentritt to join me on the stage, and that we start with the first video, please.
Dear winners of the Excellent Thesis Award, I'm very happy and proud to congratulate you today on your achievements. You worked hard in difficult times, and not only that, you developed truly new ideas and solutions. Each of your theses presents a significant step forward in our understanding of the world and in our effort to solve important problems of mankind. Interestingly, in all these great theses, both things happened: progress in fundamental understanding and progress for technology. In each of our programs, we looked at the best theses, and the programs came up with a shortlist. Then a jury met covering all programs in DSSE, from math to biology, from physics to engineering and computer science. This jury selected from the shortlist or confirmed the shortlist of the most convincing excellent theses. So our 11 awardees convinced the juries on all levels. Great work. Congratulations, and all my best wishes for your further career. Your future looks bright.
Thank you very much. So we will call by alphabetic order the laureates to the stage, and we will start with Jérémy Dauphin. So I get mixed up in my... Thank you. Anya, can you help me? I think the first one. Yeah, that's right. Jérémy Dauphin. I just have a typing error here. Congratulations. The next person is Alireza Haqiqatniyat. We continue with Susana Martinez Arbas. Out of my own research group, Comelizy Bro. As you can see, we are highly professional. Yamila Omar. Martin Stör. Kui Su. Emiliano Totti. Valentino Vinieri. Hanna Wurzer. So we now go on with the next doctorate school. So the doctorate school in science and engineering we have just seen is the by far largest doctorate school of our university. And now we go on with the doctorate school in humanities and social sciences. I would like to ask Professor Till Dembeck to join me on the stage. We will see if we get on together like Susanna.
Dear graduates of the Doctoral School in Humanities and Social Sciences, dear all. It is, of course, an absurdity to have something like an excellent thesis award. By definition, the fact that we grant the title of a Doctor of the University of Luxembourg implies an excellent achievement. In this sense, my sincere congratulations to all of you. You have completed an adventurous and in many senses also very risky journey, the outcome of which was never certain, both academically and personally. Nevertheless, some of those theses that were defended last year stuck out in terms of their depth of insight, their methodological solidity, and their potential impact on future research. We have awarded 2 excellent thesis awards in the doctoral program of humanities. One to Christine Ruppert for her reconstruction of an archaeological site in Arlon, and one to Vitus Proten for his work on the history of independent radio in the borderlands between Meuse and Rhine. In psychology, we have awarded Verena Distler for investigating the experience of security in human-computer interactions. And last but not least, in social science, one award goes to Christina Haas for her comparative work on the relation of social origin with higher education trajectories. Congratulations and many thanks to all involved. Supervisors, peers, admin staff, friends and family.
Before we call the first laureates, I must just remind, please have a look also at the slides where you see the people and especially see the titles of the PhDs, which is most of the fun. And already the title usually tells you something about complexity when you're not from the given field. So it's my pleasure to invite Verena Distler to the stage. Christina Haas. Christine Ruppert. And Vitus Sproten. Congratulations to all of you, and we now go on with the doctoral school in economics, finance, and management, and again with a video.
The doctoral school hosts PhD students in all topics of economics, finance, but also in operation research and business administration. I'm glad to announce today to you the name of the successful candidate of our doctoral school's Best Thesis Award of this year, 2021. The name of the awardee is Dr. Rana Komerpe. Rana has submitted a thesis on migration and ethnicity. This is a very important and topical study, given our recent migration problems in the European area. Rana will explain that to you and will explain her contribution. But let me say that Rana is a pure product of the University of Luxembourg. She was enrolled in the master preparing for the PhD, what would be a MPhil program in the US. And then she got a grant from the FNR to accomplish her thesis, and now she just got a core grant from the FNR also for a postdoc position of a year. So I really congratulate again Rana for her well-deserved prize and her very nice contribution in the economics of migration. Thank you, Rana. Good luck for your career.
Rana Komerpe, please. And with this, we move to our fourth doctorate school, which is the doctorate school in law, again introduced by a video.
I wish to full-heartedly congratulate Teresa for her well-deserved distinction and her remarkable work during the writing of the thesis and the outcome, discussing data protection laws in the context of migration flows.
Teresa's thesis is outstanding for many reasons. It is a groundbreaking work in an underdeveloped field. The topic, the protection of personal data of third country nationals in the management of migration flows, is timely and highly relevant. The thorough analysis and critical assessment of her thesis is of the highest academic level in a complex topic and in each of its different dimensions. The thesis demonstrated a level of expertise that it's not necessarily to be expected at the PhD level. This was mentioned in the thesis prize report. It has not only achieved a milestone, but will continue to be of relevance in any research and application of questions related to the two main pieces of legislation in the EU for data protection law, as well as the treatment of third country nationals in view of fundamental rights. My warmest congratulations, Teresa.
Teresa Quintel, please join us on the stage. Teresa? Ah. Bravo. What's his name? I'm just thinking what Rudy has shown us, his photo from his own PhD. Okay, congratulations truly to all of you. Magnificent work. So our next item on the agenda brings us to the conferment of the Fondation Auguste Laval Prize. Et j'invite sur scène Dominique Laval qui représente la Fondation Auguste Laval. Et il va nous présenter le prix et le lauréat. Merci.
Monsieur le ministre, même en virtuel, Madame Eniko Schöpchen, Madame la bourgmestre, Monsieur le recteur, Mesdames, Messieurs, chers étudiants et étudiantes, j'ai inversé ce que je voulais dire, mais nous avons l'honneur et le grand plaisir de revenir vers vous dans le cadre de la Fondation Auguste Laval, dont les statuts ont pour objet d'allouer des subventions soit au musée Henri Tudor à Rosport, et je voulais faire une parenthèse ici en vous recommandant de visiter cet endroit, je dirais, qui est un lieu d'échange plutôt qu'un musée, un lieu d'échange interactif destiné à intéresser les visiteurs aux principes élémentaires des lois sur l'électricité. C'est d'ailleurs cet endroit qui a donné naissance à notre initiative ici, à l'université. Donc, soutenir ce musée et puis allouer des bourses aux étudiants désignés, inscrits à l'université de Luxembourg, à la condition qu'ils se soient montrés particulièrement méritants dans leur travail de fin d'études dans le domaine de l'énergie, notamment l'énergie électrique. Avant de vous parler de notre lauréat, qu'il fera également, je dirais, qui fera l'objet d'une vidéo après mon intervention, je me permets de vous remémorer brièvement les origines de cette fondation. En effet, avant que soit promulguée la loi de 1928 sur les associations sans but lucratif, voilà ce que dit l'article 1 des statuts originaux de notre fondation, à l'époque, statuts écrits encore à la main. Conformément aux dispositions du testament holographe en date de juin 1925, de feu André Laval, ingénieur habitant à Aige et décédé en 1925, il a été institué, je dirais, la fondation, qui prendra le nom de Fondation Auguste Laval et qui sera régie par le présent règlement, donc, qui figure dans les statuts. Nous nous réjouissons ensuite du courrier qui est plus récent, de 2014, du ministre de la Justice, qui confirmait son accord d'adapter nos statuts dépassés à des nécessités et des besoins qui nous semblaient mieux correspondre au développement de notre société d'aujourd'hui. Le conseil d'administration de la Fondation, que je remercie d'ailleurs en passant, M. Palage, M. Ackermann notamment, qui s'est tenu en novembre de cette année, a décidé, sur proposition de notre recteur, d'accorder un soutien sous forme d'un montant de 10 000 € à M. Tai Nguyen, destiné à l'encourager à continuer à explorer son domaine de recherche. C'est-à-dire, je vais essayer de vous traduire ce que j'ai compris, la réalisation et le développement d'éléments composites sous forme de fins films conducteurs destinés à récolter et transformer l'énergie électromagnétique en énergie électrique. Ces solutions qu'il a mises au point verraient leur application notamment dans le cadre de la croissance continuelle des besoins en énergie. On parle de la 5G, de la 6G. Chaque fois que des équipements, donc électrotechniques, devront communiquer entre eux, ces éléments, devenus autonomes, seront fortement sollicités par des réseaux, par exemple, au sein de bâtiments intelligents, de véhicules intelligents. Autant d'utilisateurs au sein desquels des milliers de composants électroniques pourront communiquer. Voilà, je crois qu'il va encore approfondir cette description dans sa vidéo. Monsieur Tai Nguyen est né le 11 décembre 1989 au Vietnam, à Hanoï, et il habite à présent au Canada, à Victoria. De 2018 à 2013, avec le diplôme d'ingénieur à l'école d'ingénieurs physiciens de Hanoï, il acquiert une spécialité major d'ingénieur physicien en matériaux électroniques et de nanotechnologie. De 2014 à 2016, il acquiert une maîtrise en sciences au Collège des sciences naturelles de Daegu en Corée et le titre de major en sciences physiques. De 2017 à 2021, candidat PhD à l'Institut des sciences et technologies à l'Université de Luxembourg, il acquiert son grade de major en sciences physiques et matériaux avec son travail de thèse sur la collecte de l'énergie électromagnétique. Actuellement au Canada, à Victoria University, en tant que postdoctorant, il est assistant au département d'engineering informatique et électrique. Voilà, je crois que ce parcours impressionnant sera complété maintenant par une vidéo, si je peux me permettre. Voilà, merci.
I was a PhD student in Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology. It's in my
To see the film again and try to understand something, I think the...
Oh yeah, I'm Tai. Currently, I am a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Victoria, Canada. I was a PhD student in Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology. It's my great honor today to introduce my research activity. My research activity was focusing on the design and fabrication of magneto-electric thin film composite, one class of intelligent materials. This composite is able to convert electromagnetic energy to electricity. As you can see, this energy is ubiquitous in our daily life. As we are surrounded by electronic devices, electric transmission cable and infrastructure, which all radiate electromagnetic energy. For the last 4 years, we achieved many interesting results, which can be used as benchmark for future research in the thin film composite. For the moment, we are still working on improving the performance of the thin film composite in order to fabricate the miniaturized autonomous device which can operate without a battery. Thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you and your family a great holiday ahead. Adi.
Bravo. Donc, maintenant, on continue avec la musique. Merci. Merci duo Venus. So now we come to the key moment of this afternoon, the conferment of the diplomas. I'd like to ask our rector to join me on the stage, and also Anja Lenninger, who will explain to you the procedure in times of pandemic. Anja, please.
Yes, I have the great honor and pleasure to read your names, and I already apologize for any misspelled name. Please apologize this. I will do my best. First of all, we will, you see this picture, and it shows you what will happen. So first I will call the group. We will run through the faculties and the centers. The group of people should go to this white carpet over there and wait, and then you will be called individually on the scene, and here you will receive your diploma, and then you go to this table where Cecilia and Lise will take your signatures. This is very important. And once you have signed, you remain there, because step 5 will be the group picture. Okay, that was quite clear. So we will start tonight with the Faculty of Law, Economics and Finance, and Professor Isabelle Riasetto will replace the Dean of this faculty. So I call all the graduates of the Faculty of Law, Economics and Finance to go to the white carpet, please. True. Okay, so we start with the first graduate, which is François Bernard. Rana Kematpai. Zaroui Hakubian. Sanja Jankovic. Andrei Kostirka. Georgia Menta. Maxime Pettinger. Teresa Quintel. Carsten Ulrich. and Veronique Weber. So now you can all come on stage again for the group photo. So we will continue with the Faculty of Humanities, Education and Social Sciences and with Georg Mein, the Dean. So please, all graduates of the Faculty of Humanities, Education and Social Sciences, please go to the white carpet. Okay, so we start with Frédéric Albert. Oh. He's not here. He's not here. Okay. Sandy Artuso. Leila Batistuta. Linda Brucher. Sara Degano. Verena Distler. Carole Dording. Christina Haas. Christina Hondrilla. Jenna Hutmacher. Marina Laurent. Jessica Levy. Sophie Martini. Sam Mersch. Christopher Morse. Marie-Anne Poli Hansen. Alicia Rodriguez de Vaux. Christine Ruppert. Anna Sabrina Sattler. Dan Schmidt. Mona Stierwald, but she seems not to be here. Okay. Thanks a lot. So the next entity is the... Oh, sorry. The photo. Okay, then we continue with the Luxembourg Center for Contemporary and Digital History, and I invite Andreas Fickers on stage. And I invite the graduates from the C2DH to go to the white carpet. And we start with Richard Leguet. And Vitus Proten. The photo? So we continue with the Faculty of Science, Technology and Medicine. And please, so I would ask the graduates of the faculty first to the white carpet, then the next one will be the graduates from the LIST and the LIH. You can already also go on the carpet, but we will start with the faculty first, Jean-Marc. So all graduates, please, on the white carpet of the FSTM. Okay, we call already the first one, Adam Al-Sayat. Robert Baumgart. Steffen Bechtel. Tamara Bintener. Li Chen. Jérémy Dauphin. Ali Fajami. Giulio Giorgione. Who's not here? Luca Notarnicola. Ah, sorry, there was Abdul Mainasara Chekararu. Luca Notarnicola. Et Massimo Notarnicola. Martin Nurmik. Sunday Okutashi. Yamila Omar. Patrick Pereira Diaz. Christian Repplinger. Petra Sala. Martin Stör. Vishoit Tapa. Emiliano Torti. Valentino Vinieri. So now I would like to invite the ones from the list. Or do we make a group photo? We wait for everyone. All of us, okay. So then we invite Thomas Calstenius on stage, the CEO of LIST, and we invite the LIST graduates on stage. And we start with Dominique Abessolo Ondo. Adnan Imeri. Hamida Yagalur Bashir. Raoul Joly. Comme Milesi-Brot. Serena Drejo-Machin. So these were the ones from list. Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. We now go on with the LIH. So all graduates from the LIH, join us please on the white carpet. And we start with François Faïs. Myriam Fougera. Yolanda Pires Afonso. Hanna Wurzer. So, now a big group photo with everyone and Thomas. The next entity is the Interdisciplinary Center for Security, Reliability and Trust, and Björn Otterstein, the director. So I invite all graduates from the S&T to come and join us on the white and blue carpets. And we start with Seyfedine Betaib. Who's Shraima Boufayet. Ramiro Camino. Augusto de la Cadena Ramos. Sia Gensch. Alireza Haqiqat Nejat. Olchon Kotheli. Jevgeny Krivochisa. Renato Lemos Baptista. Anush Manukian. Salma Messaoudi. Raya Pandi Perumal. Alexander Pilgun. Jean Rivera. Renaud Rovmalika. Saïd Sedigi. Amin Slaimi. And Shui Su. Okay, so now the group photo for the SNT. And we come to the last unit, that's the Luxembourg Center for Systems Biomedicine, and Rudi accepted to represent the LCSB for one last time. you. So I invite all the graduates from the LCSB on the white carpet, please. And we start with Susana Martinez-Arbas. Oyane Uriarte Huarte. Kobi Wasner. And Menglin Zeng. So. Okay, now a group photo with the LCSB candidates.
Ja, ich glaube schon, ja. Congratulations to all of you. We will have also the occasion to have a full group photo in the end with all of you together. So, dear graduates, you are now also the ambassadors of our university, or as we say, the alumni of the university. And I would now like to invite our alumni officer, Andy Adams, to the stage to explain to you what really that means, being ambassador and alumni of our university. Andy.
Before I start, I have a confession to make. I have a wicked problem. Maybe even two. The first is the fact that I have to follow Rudy Balding on stage, up here at the podium. That's like having a band and going on stage after the Rolling Stones. Now, the second problem, let me ask a question. Are there any Americans in the audience? Okay, you may be able to help me out with this. So there's certain words in the American English that reveal where you come from. I did both my bachelor's and master's at Miami University from Ohio, which is near Cincinnati. And people from Cincinnati say, please, if they don't understand what you said. It's the literal translation of bitte from German because there are so many German immigrants in Cincinnati. And I never knew that until I went to school near there. Similarly, if an American says wicked in a certain context, you absolutely know they're from Boston. So one of my friends is a professor at the university, and when he heard I was hired last October to set up an alumni network, he said, you're on a suicide mission. So someone from Boston would call it a wicked hard problem. But being a glass half full American, I call it a wicked exciting opportunity. So your graduation may be an end, but it's also a beginning. It's the beginning of your transition to the professional world, but it's also the beginning of your lifetime as University of Luxembourg alumni. Now, if you're asking yourselves where this alumni network came from, as I said, it's brand new. And the first phase of the network is focused on you, our brand new graduates. And you should have received an email, I think 2 weeks ago today, to register for the alumni network. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it now. And speaking of email, this is direct feedback over the last year, especially from PhD students. Why can't we keep our email address when we graduate? Problem solved. You are the first graduating class that will be able to get an alumni email address. And you'll also be able to migrate your existing inbox to your alumni email address. Now, there is a caveat here in the first year. Some of you actually left the university longer before than others, so if you don't have your student address anymore, you won't be able to keep it, but if you had it before, you'll be able to get a new one. But that's only the beginning. We want to accompany our graduates every step of the way, and we've developed the Grad Pack. Now, the Grad Pack is a series of benefits and services to welcome you to the alumni community and also give you a head start in transitioning to the professional world. On the screen, you'll see the logos of our partner for the Grad Pack. Again, feedback also from doctoral students was, why can't we access the Career Center and Jobs teaser platform anymore once we graduate? Problem solved. As alumni, you'll be able to do that going forward. You also have discounts at the Confucius Institute, the University of Luxembourg Competence Center, and if you want to keep getting Lux Explorations, the science comic, in physical format, you'll be able to tell Descom and they'll send it to your home address. And if you're involved with startups, you'll still be able to use the incubator and entrepreneurship program for mentoring services and office space. And the Amis de l'Université de Luxembourg have graciously offered their membership card for the first year free of charge to alumni. But beyond the university community, and as PhD students you have been beyond the university community already, you'll find that networking is incredibly important no matter what you do. And I think Rudy talked about it very well in his presentation about how our problems are addressed in an interdisciplinary kind of way, and they impact us in different ways. And networking in Luxembourg is very easy to do as long as you have access to the networking organizations. But often that depends on your company's membership or your ability to pay for an individual membership card. So through the Grad Pack, you'll have access to great networking organizations like the British Chamber of Commerce in Luxembourg, ChinaLux, AmCham, which is the American Chamber of Commerce, and the Network, which is a career and development association for women, as well as the Paper Jam and Delano Club, which is probably the most well-known business networking club in Luxembourg. So you have lots of opportunities to meet people outside of your specific sector. You can also participate in social service activities by joining the Leo Club Feyerwan Luxembourg, which is the youth organization of the Lions Club. And if by joining JCI Luxembourg, which recently organized the Creative Young Entrepreneur Award, you'll be able to participate in development projects focused on individual entrepreneurship and impacting the local and global communities. Last but not least, as uni.lu alumni, you'll be able to subscribe to Paper Jam in French or Delano in English, as well as getting a discounted subscription rate with the Luxembourg Times, which is the #1 English language newspaper in Luxembourg. They call it a newspaper, even though it's only published online. But being alumni is not only about receiving benefits, it's also about giving back. So when you register for the Alumni Network, you're giving back. When you respond to the graduate survey, you're giving back. And we wanted to find a way to recognize this initial give back that you're doing as alumni, and we found an interesting way to do so. So we worked together with the student delegation to create the 2021 Class Fund. Now, some of you, everybody suffered the last 2 years. Some people have suffered more than others. And the student delegation has decided that they wanted to invest resources in supporting students in financial need. So every time you register for the Alumni Network, the university will contribute €5 to the Class Fund. Every time you respond to the graduate survey, the university will also contribute €5 to the Class Fund. That money will go to incoming students in financial need in 2022. So not only are you giving back by participating, you're paying it forward to future students. And as of just before this ceremony, over 160 of you have already registered, which means over €800 has already been collected for the Class Fund. So congratulations on your graduation. Alumni networks are not built overnight. They're kind of like PhDs from what I understand. They take several years to build, they challenge your ideas and assumptions, and take unexpected turns along the way. You're the pioneers, and I look forward to building the University of Luxembourg Alumni Network with you in the coming years. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you also to all speakers and, of course, to the graduates and the families and friends for being here. Before we conclude, I would really like to thank my team and the communication department for the excellent organization, and please join me in a hand for all the work they've done. Also would like to take the opportunity to thank the musicians who are already invited again on the scene. And of course, it is my, yes. And it is, of course, the university's utmost pleasure to invite you all to the celebration cocktail in the Maison des Arts et des Étudiants. But before closing really with a PhD graduation, let me conclude by wishing all of you in these special times a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Ich wünsche Ihnen und euch allen wirklich ein ganz frohes Weihnachtsfest. Shake Hashtag et bonne fête à tous. Merci beaucoup. have been closing the ceremony, but I still invite you for the group photo. The PhD students, please come up. All of you together here so that we've got a big group photo before we move over. Thank you very much.
Maybe to make a photo funny, I should take my laptop.
You should take what?
The laptop.
And where is your laptop?
Look, people are having fun already.
Take the picture from the top side.
Yeah, it's true. Done now? Yes, huh?